All righty. I believe we are live on the pipeline. I hope we are live on the pipeline. Welcome to a bonus stream. This is not Monad in the mornings. It might feel like Monad in the mornings. It is replacing or adding on to last week's Monad in the morning. We have a very, very special stream today. Welcome, of course, back to the pipeline. We are going to bring on the contestants from Monad Games. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed the premiere last week. We will be joined, of course, as always, by Jusup and Intern. Intern, however, is a little bit late to the stream. So maybe we can get some Intern will regret messing with the Monad community
in the chats.
But we've got a lot to unpack. Monad Games, it's been out for under a week, but it was certainly action-packed for the community. And we have our contestants with us live today. We do have KB. We do have PreBallin. We do have possibly Spam with us. So let's bring them onto the stream. Welcome, Spam. Welcome, Dr. PreBallin, and welcome, KB. Thanks for being with us yet again. Hopefully we don't run into any tech issues today. How are we feeling?
Good.
PreBallin, I love the hat, PreBallin. Looking
that's
good.
I didn't have my camera ready because I was looking for this hat the whole time. That's why I was scrambling.
That's worth it. Well worth it. KB, how you doing today?
What's up, everybody? I'm doing well. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Great to have you here. And
also, I need a pipeline hat, but I'm not an intern, so maybe
we can make that happen, and we will make that happen for sure, KB. We've got
this is my favorite hat though that I own. Like, not even like saying that it's like Monad, whatever, but it's like a really nice, like, it's a Nike hat. It's very
well made.
It's light. Like, I live in a hot place, so I wear it kind of often.
I'm with you. I like it. Good hat. But pipeline hat, we've got to expand production. We've got to get these in the hands of Nads across the globe. So I definitely look forward to doing that. PreBallin looking very handsome today. KB will hook you up. Spam, not sure if you're interested, but we can make it happen if you are.
Wait, I think I have one.
Oh, he has one.
He does have one. He was here. He was here at the Nads meetup.
There we go.
Looking good.
It's
Looking good, Spam.
The one day I didn't bring a hat. This, like, I don't even know if you'd call this a hat. Doesn't really have a bill.
I think it has to count as a hat. I don't know what else you would call that apparatus that's on your head right now.
Brimless hat.
Brimless hat. We'll go with that. The chat is already commenting on the guitar that was just in PreBallin's background and some of the other elements of the studio. PreBallin, that's a new studio setup. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is like the sixth time I've had to move in the last couple of years and reset up my studio again. So we've gotten pretty good at it at this point. We've had a lot of practice. So
well,
they turn out pretty well.
Moving is never fun, but the studio is looking great, and hope to hear some new bangers upcoming that have been cooked in that studio.
Oh, we got some loading.
Beautiful. Well, for all the viewers in the chat, if you are just joining us or if you joined us about 5 minutes ago when we started this stream, this is bonus content and a behind-the-scenes look at Monad Games. If you've been under a rock or just on vacation without internet access for the past week or so, Monad Games was really a first-of-its-kind content experiment by the pipeline, Monad ecosystem, and Monad community. It was designed to be really fun and engaging, to pull some awesome OG community members and contributors to the Monad ecosystem to compete in a bunch of challenges. Shout out Jusup. It was his brainchild. It was his idea to do Monad Games, and he did a ton of work planning behind the scenes, from setting up all the games, making sure that all the supplies and items we'd need to actually film the games would be available in Denver when we filmed this at East Denver, as well as coordinating the entire filming and production process as well. So huge shout out to Jusup there. We also had a couple cool on-chain elements related to Monad Games. Prior to last week's premiere of the full episode, we had prediction markets live on the Monad testnet from Opinion Labs. Super, super awesome prediction market product building on top of the Monad protocol. So it was great to leverage a product on the Monad testnet in order to build up some community energy, some community speculation on the Monad Games challenges. And then right when the premiere dropped, there was a surprise on-chain activation, and that was the cipher, which was hidden in the Monad Games video. I know the community put in over 30,000 guesses, so that was pretty exciting, as well as people went back and watched in detail and really dove in to find a hidden cipher, a hidden message. It actually didn't take that long to crack. I know a lot of the community is looking forward to the recap video, which we'll put out pretty soon, which explains exactly how that cipher was created and how it was solved as well. So a lot going on for Monad Games. Excited to have the community here, and even more excited to have KB, PreBallin, and Spam, our VIP contestants from Monad Games, live here on stream today. They were supposed to join us last week on Monad in the morning, but due to some unfortunate and unforeseen technical issues, we weren't able to make it happen. So very, very glad to have them back with us. Again, we have KB, PreBallin, and Spam, and would love to hear from KB first, but really from all the contestants. Did Monad Games turn out like you expected it would? Because you guys all came and filmed with us in Denver, but you hadn't seen the full episode until it live premiered in front of the community. So starting with KB, did Monad Games come out as you expected it would, or was it different?
Yeah, I think it was a lot less cringe than I was afraid it was going to be. I'm not really somebody that gets on camera too much, so I was very nervous about that. But the way that it was edited, the way that it was cut, it looked like we had a lot of fun that day, and we did. So I think that really, kind of counts. Maybe some of these game shows, people don't really know each other that well. They don't, spend a year talking to each other. So I think just kind of us hanging out and, having fun that day really portrayed on Monad Games as well. I did show some of my normie friends and they're laughing, but they totally thought you and Intern were super crypto douchey guys. And I'm like, no, they're so nice. And oh, they're just douchey crypto guys. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, that was kind of the funny part about that for me. But that's them being biased and they don't know. But it was a lot less cringe and it was awesome.
Good. Well, appreciate the trust. I'm sure it was a lot of suspense behind the scenes, just wondering is this thing going to actually come out and be super cringe, or is it going to be fun and enjoyable? So yeah. Appreciate the trust there. I think the feedback definitely valid, but great point as well about having the pre-existing context and the pre-existing relationship. If you just put a bunch of strangers in a room, yeah, you can solicit funny reactions, but that doesn't mean that they're actually going to be good reactions or that people are going to banter off of one another very well. So appreciate that for sure. I do see we had Mr. Intern just walk onto the set with Jusup. He is late. He regrets nothing. He does not regret messing with the Monad community. But as our fifth contestant in Monad Games, Intern, welcome to the bonus stream recap. How are we feeling today, Intern?
I feel good. I regret nothing. And that's the only time I'll talk about that.
Beautiful. Well, appreciate that. Appreciate you being with us, and appreciate your unwavering resolution to not regret anything. Just keep being yourself, man.
No regrets, dude. It's not just
No,
a saying, right? It's a lifestyle. No,
no regrets.
I appreciate your appreciation, Danny.
Of course, man. Well, we have our contestants here. We've got the full lineup now, and we were just running through some initial reactions from the contestants. They filmed a month and a half, 2 months ago now, back in Denver, and then they didn't actually see the edit until it went live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, globally. And the question was, did it come out the way that you expected it would, or did you expect something entirely different? Just heard from KB. Would love to throw it over to Dr. PreBallin and see if your take is different from KB or pretty similar.
I was definitely nervous. I didn't really know how it was gonna turn out, and like that day, we had partied a little bit the night before, so I was a little hungover, and I wasn't feeling super cinematic, but it turned out great. I was really surprised. I was like not like hating watching myself on camera, which sometimes that's how that goes. So
Shout out Savant.
yes, shout out Savant for real.
Yeah, Savant did an amazing job behind the scenes editing the entirety of Monad Games. Was a huge project, probably spent several hundred hours on it. So yeah, appreciate him, appreciate Jusup, a lot of coordination behind the scenes there. Spam, how did it feel for you? Did you expect it to be pretty much what it was, or did you expect something different to be dropping during the live premiere?
Yeah, honestly, kind of thought it was just going to be like a cutting up all the different scenes, trimming it down. 'Cause we were there for the full day, so there was, I'm guessing, like many hours of footage for Savant to kind of chop up. But I was really impressed by like the memery behind it and like the actual like meme video style edits, especially like when you ate the chocolate and then it was just like the disorientation zoom in. I thought a lot of those scenes were a lot of my favorite parts when it just went full meme.
100%. It was basically full meme the entire time, and that was the goal. So glad it came across. It was very interesting to film. I personally was like pretty stressed behind the scenes while we were filming. I was just wanting to make sure that we were able to film each challenge within the time that we had rented the studio for. It was pretty condensed, pretty action packed, a lot of moving pieces, and honestly, it exceeded my expectations in terms of how it turned out. Intern, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that front, like behind the scenes to the actual premiere.
Yeah, I thought it was. I was surprised at the at how long it was, honestly, because I feel like we filmed for like, I don't know, 4-6 hours. I can't exactly remember, but then there was the entire episode's like almost 40 minutes, which like usually you film a lot longer and there's a lot more cuts. But yeah, just like how quickly it all got done. Like it felt like we were doing a bunch of stuff, but it didn't take that long. And then the actual clipping and putting everything together was super smooth. So yeah, massive W Savant. I don't know, dude. I thought it was a blast. Like I'm not the biggest conference guy. Maybe we were actually kind of breaking character, but like going to conferences for me is decent. I don't get that fired up about them, honestly. It's a lot of random 5-minute conversations with like over 100 people back to back for 10 hours every single day. And then just, I don't know, picking out one day and being like, hey, we're just going to have a bunch of fun, film a bunch of Squid Game-esque challenges, hang out with the crew and then make a video about it. It was so much better. So I'm down to run it back anytime. I thought it was a great experience actually doing the show. And then the product was awesome.
Yeah, I think we have to run it back. I think that is absolutely a requirement. And honestly, at least for me, one of the things that made it most fun, but also a little bit kind of stressful, was the fact that we didn't know the challenges in advance. So we did that intentionally. Jusup set this up, like planned all the challenges, and basically told us like, hey, you guys aren't going to know what these individual competitions are, so that we can get like really authentic reactions, and so that you don't have any sort of edge in like planning in advance how you're going to like tackle certain challenges or things like that. But for example, the psychic challenge, I was the first one to go, and I had no idea who was about to walk in the room and sit across from me. I had no idea it was a psychic. And I was honestly expecting, because Jusup said, hey, we're going to have a special guest for this challenge. I was expecting it to be like Keone or Eunice or maybe Brian Armstrong, like somebody well known in crypto. But I was not expecting it to be the local Denver psychic coming on Monad Games to literally stare into my soul and read my personality. I don't know how the other contestants felt about that, but the fact that we didn't know the challenge was just absolutely crazy.
Well, I think you said that you were kind of stressed out about not knowing it. I think that stressed me out significantly. Was it everything sat in my brain and my brain alone? So like even when we had a PA there and the other camera people there, it was like trying to juggle telling them all of the information and what needs to be filmed while also delivering the lines and then making sure things went smoothly. Like there was a lot of stuff and moving parts, and then making sure that you guys didn't know what was going on. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I wonder if there's almost like a deleted scenes to be had of I remember we were all standing there waiting for like the special guest to walk in. Like, who on earth could this be? And then I think you said like she's here, and we're like, oh, it's a girl. And so that cuts down like a lot of crypto. So like who is here? And then when she walked in, we're like, who is this? Like, who is this person?
Because I didn't even tell you guys as
no, you
she's
had no
walking
idea.
in.
She just sits down, and then like it was described to us on camera, basically. Like I think it was captured like what this person is going to do.
So I want to see in the chats. Do you guys want me to just start like releasing some BTS clips just randomly? Like, would that be fun to see?
I feel like the answer is a no-brainer. We need some BTS clips. But I want to hear, KB, how did you feel about the psychic? Like, so I went first. Did you know that it was a psychic by the time you were sitting down?
Yeah, I think we all figured it out. Like we're all like, who's it going to be? Like you said, Eunice. Is it, what crypto person? We had no idea what it was like. I think I was a little freaked out because I don't really like psychics. And so I was just like, we're like, oh, fuck. Like, what is this person going to like say? Or like, how are they going to read us? And so by the time that I got on, I feel like I had a pretty big shield on. I was like, I'm just going to stare right into her soul. Like, don't look into my soul. I'm going to stare into your soul. But yeah, it was interesting. And then like hearing like what she was saying about like Intern and like you, and I'm like, oh my God, like what is she going to like pull out of me? Cause like everyone I feel like was walking away defeated after the psychic. And that was the first thing that we did, because everything had like was so late. Me being 3 hours late, but yeah, so like, yeah, it was, I'm glad that was kind of like knocked out of the way. But then I won that one. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I got this in the bag, and then I didn't win any other one. So
Were there any things that the psychic said? Like a lot of the psychic clips weren't put in the video, right? Each person had 5 full minutes. Does anyone remember like any funny ones? The two best hands down in the video were when PreBallin was like, she said, I'm the type of guy to steal a lighter, which was unbelievable. And then also possibly Spam being like, yeah, you are you're the type of person, you're just so nice and empathetic to every
Yeah.
person.
Every
and then,
mother would want you as a kid. Is what
Yeah,
she said.
and then Savon puts the tweet overlaying it of like farting on people in the public transportation greater than or whatever Spam's tweet was. That's so funny. But what were like, I can't remember some of the other ones that you said, KB, Spam, or I guess literally anyone. Like, do you guys remember any of the ones that she said about you that weren't in the thing? Really?
Not
Oh,
not
she said I'm a good cook, which is like the most inaccurate thing ever. I get baked and roasted all the time for my inability to cook and the questions I ask when I do cook. So she was way off with that one.
She was probably picking up on you just cooking beats in the studio
Yeah.
and just had like some sort of vibe like, okay, this guy cooks. I don't know what he cooks on, but he cooks on something and it may or may not be food. In this case, it was definitely not food, but you cook pre-ball and you definitely cook.
In her defense, she just sat down and like had to read you guys in seconds and had 5 minutes. So maybe she's, when you have your individual time to sit down and talk to her, she can read you a little better. But she was getting mixed signals like pre-ball and cooking. And like, I know KB, she said you were a dancer. And then like in the deleted scenes, you kind of said that maybe she was picking up on that you like to go to raves and stuff like that.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, you're a showgirl." I'm like, not like that. I was like, I do like to go to raves and I do dance for the entire weekend. So like maybe I think too, like, and I have no idea how any of this works, but I feel like when we're dealing with like online personas and then like our IRL, like I had to give her my full government name, which nobody here knows that, right? They know me as KB. And so she asked for our real names. So, like, who is she really picking up on? Because I do think when you're doing kind of like this, like, anon lifestyle for crypto, and then like, I have my two lives very separated. So, like, who is she really like reading on? And is there like a line that is kind of blurred of like who you are and who you like perceive to be? So I kind of feel like that might have kind of put into play why she thought PreBallin, cooks when he really just cooks the beats and not food. But yeah, I don't know. That's just like a theory.
On the psychic experience, I definitely share that same sentiment where I was quite rattled to know that like I can't really get out of this, and the person walking in to sit right across from me is a psychic. That is not something that I would like voluntarily sign up for. You're like, oh, let's check this out.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah,
and record it too.
I'm like,
yeah, also like publicly like recorded and like, we rented the studio. Like I can't back out of this, but at the same time, I really don't want to do this. And so I was taking a similar tactic to you, KB, where I was just like, let's have this go over as smoothly as possible. Like I'm just going to nod and smile at whatever she says and not like upset my my ranking in the nether world or the spirit world or whatever she's tapping into. Like I'm just going to play this really safe and go with the flow here.
Well, and to be fair, like I had planned all of this. This was supposed to be the third game. So like it was supposed to, you guys were supposed to kind of warm up with the cookie game. And then like this was supposed to be third game so that it wouldn't rattle you guys right off rip. And so I think even just the fact that like I was trying to change the way that we were filming and like editing in my head of like how are we going to pull this off even though the entire schedule was switched up. It was definitely, and I thought she was going to ask you guys questions and you guys had the ability to talk back.
I thought that too.
So I was already like, oh no, like this isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go. And just my mind goes to like the edit. What are we going to be able to do? How are we going to pull this off? Yeah. So for me, it was like weird.
Dude, I was shocked when it was not a conversation. like every movie I've ever seen where they go in and get the psychic, they're like saying, "Oh yeah, that's accurate," or like they ask questions, you give an answer, and then they're reading that. She was just like, "State your name 3 times, and I will know everything." I'm like, I don't know what type of psychic powers you're pulling here, but it doesn't seem like it works. And then a lot of it was pretty good. I mean, she also wore those pants on purpose, right? Like we talked about the day before. I'm like, I'm gonna wear something crazy. And then she picked up on the pants and then just started talking about like how I'm a clothes guy and like fashion is something that I really look into. And I'm like the least fashion clothes guy ever.
I told
But I didn't want to
everybody
say that.
when I sent a message to everybody, I said, "Do not wear white." And then Kevin wore the whitest pants.
The whitest pants I could find,
Yes.
honestly. But yeah, it led to some, I don't know, if we could talk a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah. I do have another question that I want to ask all the contestants, but I also want the chat to weigh in on this as well. So the question is, what was your favorite challenge? I actually need to do some thinking about what my favorite challenge was. I think by now everyone knows it was not the psychic challenge, but anyone have
wait.
a
Is that the worst one though for you?
was that like, what do you mean the worst challenge? Like,
Dude,
was
the
that
chocolate pepper
That's what I
was like
Mm.
that like ate your face for like an hour. We couldn't even film the next challenge yet because you were so hot and bothered by the chocolate.
Yeah, that was extremely uncomfortable. I really would not look forward to doing that again. I don't know honestly which I honestly think I hated doing the psychic challenge more than I hated the chocolate challenge. But I don't know, maybe if you asked me in the moment, I would have a different answer. But curious for the chat, and also our contestants who are joining us here on stream. What was your favorite challenge or your least favorite?
I think the spices. That was my favorite because the jelly bean really wasn't that bad, honestly. Like it was pretty. I probably could have eaten like 5 of those jelly beans.
Well, PreBallin, there I do have a funny note on your spicy challenge. That I picked up on from like watching multiple edits of the like full Monad Games video. And that was that you chewed the jelly bean for basically the entirety of your pitch. So one jelly bean, very small bite of candy, but you're chewing it for like the entire 3-minute pitch. One, that definitely made it way more spicy because you just have that
Probably.
lingering effect. And two, what was good with that? Why were you chewing the jelly bean for so long? If anyone's interested, it's at 20 minutes timestamp in the video. PreBallin's just like chewing this jelly bean.
It's a great question. I really don't have an answer. I didn't realize that I was chewing it for that long.
PreBallin, you gotta turn your camera.
It keeps switching on me. I don't know what. Like I keep fixing it, and then
There we go.
it's gonna switch again. Just wait. It's a matter of time. But yeah. I had all 5 colors of jelly beans, and I think the dark red were the worst. Those were like some.
That was
Someone
supposed to
told
be the ghost pepper.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. My girl is like crazy about spices, so I was kind of like maybe I'll go for the chocolate, but then I saw Danny's reaction. I was like, I'm good on the chocolate. I'm good on the chip, but I'll take care of the jelly beans for sure.
You did good on the jelly bean for sure. Yes, I don't have a very high spice tolerance, but I went first and I wanted to set the tone. So I was like, I can't just do a jelly bean because what if nobody wants to like one up me and then we have like the chip and the chocolate, but it doesn't even get eaten and then we all take the easy route. So I was like, okay, I have to eat this chocolate, assuming that it would be spicy. Again, I have horrible spice tolerance, but that was brutally painful. It hurt so bad. It was just totally taking over my entire brain. I couldn't think about what I was supposed to pitch. I couldn't hear what anyone else was saying. And then I got in the middle of it. They're like, no, you can't even drink the milk, even though that wasn't pre-established as a rule. So I was down horrendous. But Spam comboed. Spam, you ate the jelly bean and the chocolate, but you did tell me after the fact that you just swallowed them. You didn't chew them. Is that correct?
Yeah, so as opposed to PreBallin, who's just going max spice, max exposure to the tongue, I was just like, okay, like in 4 hours I can feel the repercussions of this. This is fine. I just need to make it through the 3 minutes of pitch. So I just, I had to double stack the points. I wasn't too high on the leaderboard at that time, so I just popped 2 down, swallowed them like they were pills.
We got a question here that I thought was interesting. Baby Yaga 4487 wants to know, was the chocolate sweet and spicy?
Yeah, so I can answer this as somebody who actually chewed it and tasted it rather than just went boom down the gullet. Yes, it was sweet and spicy. The chocolate, when I chewed it, the first second I was just getting like chocolate flavor. And then instantly I was like, oh, there's an element of spice to this, like coming from the throat. It was just very quickly overtaking any hints of sweet. And then I was buried for the next half hour. That was extremely, extremely painful. But nobody ate the chip. We didn't.
So,
none of us had the audacity to do the spicy chip challenge, at least live on Monad Games. Jusup has it there with him. And we did say that this Monad Games stream would have some bonus content. So I am hinting at what we're about to get to. Jusup, you wanna tee us up, or you want me to intro the next segment while you pull it up on the production side?
I can pull it up pretty quickly, but do we want to bring anybody on or play?
Play and then bring our special guest on from behind the scenes backstage right now. We do have members of the foundation team that are much tougher and braver than I am, and thankfully we have one of them joining us on stream today. After they heard that nobody ate the chip live on Monad Games, they decided to one bite the one chip challenge on camera, and we have that for our audience today.
All right,
the
we
special
ready?
guest. Run the footage, and then we'll bring on our special guest.
That's so hot. Oh my god.
Spicy.
Do you want me to cut?
Yeah.
Okay. So nobody would do this in Monad Games. And the one chip challenge.
Wait,
What is that?
There's the glove to handle it if you need to.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Hey,
Stop
it
it.
comes with a glove to handle it.
That's stupid. I don't like the gloves. They feel terrible in my hand. I was just gonna eat it out of the bag, but I don't want milk. I think milk is disgusting. Okay. That's spicy. It's quite spicy, team. No, there's a physical reaction for sure. No, my mouth feels like it's dying.
Is it going down at all, or going up, or staying?
No, it's spicy. No, water makes it worse.
No way. Dude, that's so hot.
Water makes it worse.
Spicy.
Yeah, she's a
Are you
fucking
okay?
G.
No, it's really spicy.
Milk is gross.
Like,
The spiciest chip in the world. Are you gonna
no, but it hurts. No, it's spicy. I feel it in my ears.
Could you pitch a startup right now while doing this?
I could work. Okay, here's the startup. It's called Robot Maid, and it's a robot who's a maid. And when you drop shit on the floor, it like picks it up and puts it away, and when your laundry is done, it takes it out and folds it. It's like Smart House, but unfortunately, like you have to change your laundry over from washer to dryer because it's wet, but it'll put it in and take it out for you. That's so spicy. I would do anything for the Monad community. It's landed in my stomach. I can feel it.
Do you want me to cut?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That was incredible. We are blessed to have Sophie joining us live on stream. Sophie is across the world right now. It is the middle of the night. Sophie's going crazy, executing some events for Monad across multiple countries right now. So, Sophie, appreciate you taking the time to join us and appreciate that amazing show of bravery and toughness that you just put on. That was incredible.
It was really spicy. I can't lie. But I would do it again. I would do anything for the Monad community.
That was
But it was the first. Okay, so like right before it, I ate an onion, like a good half of a raw onion, and then I had the spicy chip, and that was the only food I'd eaten that day. And then I had a tummy ache.
I can only imagine. I mean, if your entire caloric consumption is coming from an onion and a one chip spicy chip challenge, that is outrageous. You said no to the glove and you said no to the milk. That was honestly incredible to watch. I can't even imagine what my reaction would have been eating that spicy chip. I probably would still be in the hospital.
She said no, but I wouldn't let her not use the glove. There was a glove for a reason.
That was, well, actually, the glove was smart because for the next, like, I would say 24 hours, I was acutely aware of, like, where in my body the chip was. Like, I could feel it move through my esophagus into my stomach and then through my intestines, which was, like, a really interesting sensation.
That sounds like a very strange, interesting sensation. I actually wouldn't wish upon anyone.
Yeah.
It sounds like it hurts.
And the worst part was I had just gotten a popcorn machine for the office, and I was like putting the first batch of popcorn in, and I had to go like lay on the floor for a little, and I almost burned the popcorn, and that would have been like really upsetting.
Oh my goodness. Sophie, in watching Monad games, did you have a favorite challenge? For some context here, we have hopes to potentially run it again. We would love to feature more Monad community members, more contributors across the Monad ecosystem, and more team members from the Monad Foundation. We would definitely be interested to have you on after that incredible show of bravery and toughness. But did you have a favorite challenge overall from Monad Games?
I thought the ice challenge was really fun. I like seeing people like throw things on the floor, and I like watching things break. I would have had more fun. Jusup had me help him like cut up and laminate the numbers and words, and like I've never felt more criticized in my whole life.
She did a terrible job.
Like I do a great
Except
job
for
at
that.
everything, win or die. I don't agree. I think you were being a little bit picky about those words, but I thought it was really fun. I thought KB killed it. I'm always rooting for KB, so I was pretty disappointed in the results.
Thanks.
Of Monad games, but I think when we run it back, like if I'm not competing, KB's definitely gonna win. If I am competing, she'll get second place for sure.
KB, you had a hot start. You were named most influential by the Psychic, and you were the first one to get any points on the board, I think. Where did it break down?
I fumbled the pitch, and like I'm just like you, Danny. Like I don't take spice very well. I don't have many taste buds, so like I just get straight fire, and I know that about myself. So I was gonna also go with the chocolate to try to get more points, but you went first, and after I saw that reaction, I was like, absolutely not. Like I can't. So your like theory and like or strategy, like, oh well, maybe like everyone's gonna go with the easy way route. If I don't do like the chocolate, kind of backfired because I was going to do the chocolate. If I went first, I would have done it. But because you did it first and I saw you crying, I'm like, I'm just gonna go the jelly bean. And I just like can't do two things at once. And I like get very nervous and like surprisingly so, like very high anxiety, especially with like that pitch. I could have like if I thought about it for maybe fucking 10 seconds, I could have nailed because like I have a dog. Like like, I don't I just completely fumbled that pitch. So that's kind of where everything went a bit downhill for me, in my opinion. So that was like my least favorite game. And then yeah, you won the ice challenge. I think I was 7. I had one more to go, and you beat me on that one. So
Well, because he made a deal with Spam.
you made a deal with Spam, exactly. He wasn't making a
Oh,
deal.
crap.
And then if I would have stole, I think we would have lost. If I would have stole 2,
Intern would have won.
Intern would have won. So yeah, I think I would still split, but if we all split, I think I would have gotten second place. I'm not sure. But yeah, the pitch is where I completely fumbled. Not great for me.
I fumbled the pitch as well. I couldn't even read my note card while I was eating that chocolate, and my brain was just literally on fire. It was full on fight or flight mode. I was like, I can't pitch right now. I didn't even remember afterwards what I was even pitching. So that was a tough one. Intern definitely crushed it, but he did only eat a jelly bean. Intern, how spicy was your jelly bean?
Very manageable. In hindsight, I should have eaten 20 of the jelly beans. I should have had the whole plate and just pulled 4,000 points out of the gate.
That would be a classic spam
You
move.
couldn't add the jelly beans because PreBallin ate like 6 of them.
We're gonna have to check the tape on that one. I don't know if I buy that.
I would love some
Stat-
extra points.
Spam stacked.
Yeah, but he stacked different ones. He
All I'm
went
saying,
off.
I at least would have had a claim to the throne because it wasn't said ahead of time. So I could have just had 20 jelly beans. I might have actually lost the pitch then, though, in which case I wouldn't have hit. That would have been hot.
Also, Intern fumbled it because I gave him the option since he was winning. I was like, yo, you get to choose your tool first. And then he's like, well, for content, like, shouldn't it be level playing field? And then that's when I was like, all right, Spam, pick your tool first. And he got
Bro,
a
that's when
spoon.
I knew that like
Dude, it's
Intern
like-
was not going to be on my team in Survivor. Like, voted off the island.
I mean,
It would have.
listen, you're doing a game show. You're like, all right, let's give the person first the biggest advantage. Like, I don't know. In the NFL, you score a touchdown, the other team gets the ball. Like, I'm just trying to make it fair. And now I have, if I won the ice challenge and Danny didn't, which probably if I went first, I would have chosen the keyboard, in which case Danny and I probably switch places there. Could be a whole different story, but like, I'm not going to bring that up in a public setting to make people think that I actually did win. That's not something I would do. I'm fine being in the place that I was. But if I had done the rules, obviously it would have been a different story. But like, that's not something you publicly bring up and talk about because that's not good sportsmanship,
Yeah, but the keyboard was not like an advantage. Well, actually, there's one way that the keyboard actually was an advantage. And that was that the tool was so ineffective for the job that it was supposed to do that by the time I like realized this, like if you watch the video, you can see me just standing there. I was my brain was buffering for a minute, but then I realized like, okay, this keyboard is not going to do anything. So I don't have any tools at my disposal. So I just need to use my hands. And that actually ended up being the best strategy to just like break it on the ground, like get smaller and smaller chunks. And then I was like stomping on small ice chunks to make sure that like I would crush the ice, but then I could extract the word. And that ended up being, I guess, somewhat of an advantage because like Intern with the spoon, KB with the hammer, you're just kind of like literally chipping away. PreBallin with the lighter, that thing was good for nothing. Dude was getting like
except for that he kept
You're stealing, yeah.
Except for he kept it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a crazy arc. I did not see in the moment. Like I didn't even like realize I did that. That like those two events sequenced that way.
A lot of Danny. I don't know. A lot of people in the chat are saying that the keyboard was key.
A lot of people, it was just Nini.
It's you, yeah.
No, there's at least 3 separate people, 4 people now saying the keyboard was key.
They're
So,
just saying that because Nini said it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, if
well,
somebody
that-
can,
what
if
do you-
somebody can articulate one way in which the keyboard was key to my success in that challenge, I will.
You just did. You just told the story of how the keyboard was key.
Okay, all right, fine.
Like-
I eat my words. I eat my words.
The 1
I
minute
do
buffering, like
apologies.
run that. We need an instant replay. Like, someone can articulate any way that the keyboard helped me, besides the 5 minutes I just spent explaining how the keyboard made me win the entire competition. Again, it's not.
Honestly,
This is not something I would ever actually talk about because it kind of ruins the integrity. It makes people second guess. Like, did Danny actually win fairly? I wouldn't do that. But, like,
Come on.
I would
Come
never.
on.
I would never do that because that's
Fair
not
and
like
square.
right. It's not something that you want to. You don't want to be out there in the public. But like, I don't know. People, a lot of people, the chat, the person with the keyboard saying it was key. Makes you wonder, right?
Well, you could have grabbed it as well. You actually could have gone first and been the first one to select a tool, and then you said no. I don't think that's fair. And then you complained when everyone else selected the tool that you wanted.
Okay, so just to hit on the initial thing we were talking about here was that I decided not to go first, but if I had gone first, other people in the chat are saying potentially I would have won upon choosing the keyboard. So like, yes, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
Who is saying that?
Just scroll in the chat, dude.
I'm
Take a
looking.
scroll.
He's typing it up right now.
Dude, the host just said, would Intern have won? What do we think?
No.
Intern would have won in a wrestling match. That's what Real Chaos Walker says. Akshat _Nad says nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that.
Blue. 100% guaranteed. I don't listen. I'm not trying to spark a controversy here. I want to put this to bed. It's not something. Yeah, we shouldn't bring it up anymore. It's just what a lot of people have had in the back of their mind, and so it's worth talking about, I guess.
Chat, let's just run it up. Let's see. Let's solve this right here, right now. All you have to do is comment either intern or pipelines. And let's see.
I have some additional behind the scenes that may sway people's votes.
Yeah, what's up, Spam?
So when I made that trade with Danny Pipes, I'd actually just like had a duplicate. Like I had his word. So there was a chance, like if I just never did that, like never made the trade, like he would just never have gotten his word because I just had it.
And PreBallin was 1 away, so that PreBallin would have won.
I was close. I was really close on the ice because I just started breaking it.
Well,
Smashed
when
it against the ground.
you guys started throwing it, they like interchanged and mixed together because they just went flying. So there is a chance that Spam did get Danny's and never. He sold him back his own word.
That's
part of the
swindling
deal.
me.
He's saying explicitly that's what happened. He had both words, so he knew Danny would never get there.
He swindled me, but he saved me at the same time. And for that, I am grateful to Mr. Spam. Thank you, Spam. I appreciate that.
No problem. Anything for the pipes.
You got your 300 testnet mon for it. It was I was a little too stressed to negotiate, but I'm glad we got the
Everybody's
deal
just saying
done.
intern
Wait.
pipelines. You guys did not understand the assignment. Pipe turn.
Do I get some testnet mon for eating that fucking chip? Like my wallet's empty. I spent all my mon on NFTs, and like it'd be nice if somebody wanted to send me some mon.
Thanks for playing.
Sophie, these are 2 things. These are 1 terms you want to set before you actually do the thing that you're going to be doing. 2, this is just really good practice for actually mainnet. right? If you
Exactly.
spend all your real money on NFTs and then you feel like you don't have any money, it's tough to go to your friends and be like, hey, can I have a bunch of money? I spent all mine, right? It's like if you have coins
I
at
don't
Chuck E.
know.
Cheese and then you run out of your tokens and everyone else is like, well, I'm still playing because I didn't use all my tokens yet.
So
That's never stopped anyone on Twitter.
you remember, Sophie, over the weekend, you put a tweet out that said, I have a hint for the cipher, follow me. And then you followed up with it of like, oh, I don't actually have it. This is just a lesson to not get scammed.
I actually want to tell everyone
Leave
if
it
they
at that.
follow me.
Did you do
If
that,
they follow
Sophie?
me at Sophie Cornchip right now, I have a hint for the next cipher, like a really alfalfa hint.
This is how you're degrading trust in the Monad badge with that. So
No, Monarch can trust me. I got the sweatshirt on.
engagement farming without the follow-up. What is our
Policy?
what's our policy? Yeah. Surprise and delight.
Surprise and delight. You're gonna be
Round your
surprised and
followers.
That was
delighted.
the worst surprise. It's okay.
Surprise.
No. I sent her a hint and I was like, here, I got you. Because then she DM'd me and she was like, hey, can you send me one really good hint? So I did. But she didn't actually post it. But if it was deciphered, it says Sophie will regret messing with the Monad community.
That's pretty good. The one element of Monad games that we haven't really talked about yet, which was a surprise for most of the contestants here on stage, and that is the cipher, which nobody, like I said, nobody knew this was going to happen. Not even the contestants. Jusup had this idea to hide a secret message in the video and then build an on-chain component where people could submit guesses and try and crack the cipher. And the engineering team at Monad Foundation built a really cool app using ZK and some cool on-chain features. Shout out Harpal, shout out Marcus, shout out Box, shout out Modder, and everyone else who pitched in on the cipher. But that was a pretty cool activation as well. We still haven't given the full behind the scenes look at how the cipher was created or how you could have cracked the cipher. There were over 30,000 on-chain guesses in
30,000 individual. There was 43 total guesses.
Yeah, some of those total guesses failed after somebody had submitted the correct guess, and then we were verifying the authenticity of that submission. But Spam, PreBallin, KB, what did you guys think of the cipher?
I was super confused. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I was cooked.
Spam also pulled a Sophie and tried to farm that he had a hint.
Yeah, it was
we
great.
can't call defrauding the Monad community pulling a Sophie. I'm gonna veto that right now.
Oh no, the consequences of your own actions.
Yeah, so nobody knew what the cipher was. I don't know if we want to give any hints to our loyal community members who are tuning in live to the pipeline right now, since the challenge has ended. We will do a whole behind the scenes recap with some of the engineering team who actually built this app, because it wasn't only fun. Well, hopefully it was fun to do for the community, but it wasn't just about fun. It was also about bringing a component of Monad games actually onto the Monad testnet and creating a really cool novel app to crack ciphers and guess these things. So we will be sharing that in the coming days, but I don't know, Jusup, do you want to dive in on any of the details there? Do we want to give any alpha to the community here, or should we hold it?
Yeah, right after this is done, I'll record the breakdown of the cipher part. So we'll just keep that to ourselves. But the one alpha piece that I'll say is check your NFT.
Oh, yes. So if you did submit a guess and try and crack the cipher, you did receive a testnet NFT commemorating your participation. It is a testnet NFT. It is valueless, but it does hold sentimental value, hopefully, and it is proof that you were a guesser on the Monad Games Cypher Challenge, which was intentionally really, really hard. If we made it easy to crack, the competition would have lasted about 5 minutes. We still don't know exactly who cracked it or how they cracked it, but somebody did. So looking forward to sharing that bonus content later once we have it recorded and edited.
Part of me wants to put a bounty out on figuring out who that person is, because I'm very curious.
Yeah, the shadowy supercoder types usually like to remain shadowy supercoders, so I don't necessarily want to send the geoguessers after somebody who has blessed us by not only participating but bringing enough brain power and ingenuity to actually solve the cipher. So I'm a little hesitant on that, but we'll see.
It sounds like Danny really wants no one to find out who cracked the cipher.
That's what I'm hearing.
Intern is just stoking the fire today.
I mean, look, someone cracked. There wasn't enough information out there. Someone cracked it. Cipher's there.
I'm in awe.
Mr. Pipelines. Jusup had it in his notebook. He sits right next to Danny. I don't know, dude.
There was literally 3 people that knew it.
Wait, 3 is a lot.
Well, me, and then front end and back end.
Okay, I know who did it.
It was actually pretty cool, like the way that and we're excited to obviously share the recap. Engineering team can speak to this much better than I can, but the way that this was built was actually pretty cool. A lot of people who spin up an on-chain cipher basically do it in a way that you can obviously like look at the code and then simulate off-chain what the cipher is. So then you can basically run a bunch of bots and crack the cipher off chain and then bring that guess on chain. That was not possible for the Monad Games cipher. There was some pretty cool stuff going on behind the scenes with ZK that made that impossible. But I'm not going to speak to that anymore because I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Baby Yaga says the answer is KB's government name.
It is not. So don't go looking for that.
Next time, could we have like a right curve cipher and then maybe like a left curve cipher, like maybe a puzzle? Like I like a puzzle, like a
in your DM.
puzzle.
It's a good idea, Sophie, but the problem is if a right curver attempts to solve the left curve cipher, it's over very, very quickly. And we actually thought that this cipher was challenging enough with 0 hints that it would probably drag on longer than it did. We had a bunch of hints, like real hints, not engagement farms on Twitter. We had some real hints prepared to roll out to the community, but they didn't need it. Some Gigabrain cracked it. That some Gigabrain was not myself as much as Intern asserts it. I promise. But yeah, that's probably all we'll say about the cipher because again, none of us really knows what it was or how it was built. So if you're in the audience, you'll have to wait for the recap and the behind the scenes. We do have a lot more Monad Games behind the scenes bonus content upcoming. If you enjoyed watching the premiere, if you enjoyed participating in the prediction markets by Opinion Labs, the cipher after Monad Games, definitely be sure to engage, throw out some love on Twitter and YouTube. If it goes big enough, then maybe we get permission to go run it again. So would love to make that happen. Super appreciative to have had all the Monad Games guests, the competitors on this stream, as well as Sophie. I know we're keeping you up in the middle of the night, but incredible show of bravery and fortitude, just going all in and one biting the hot chip challenge. So that was pretty cool to see. And we have that video produced now, so you can drop that on Twitter or wherever it may live.
Wow, Jusup, we got a or I don't know, a suggestion from the chat from Acer Blade. It says Monad games with 100 players.
I want to.
If you do like a big like Monad community, everyone go to this conference and we're gonna run the Monad games with 100 people. That would be like true Mr. Beast style.
That's what I want to do. And like actually voting people off or people get eliminated so that it's narrowed down. Like
the Beast games.
Yeah. Like we definitely need to do that.
Beautiful. All right, Acer Blade.
That I may or may not have looked at some bigger studios in Denver originally, and then they got like, yo, let's get a concept first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming to time here. If the contestants have a final message for the Monad community, or if you just want to say adios, please feel free to give any final remarks.
Yo, shout out Composite. Everybody go follow Composite Labs. Building on Monad, building for the EVM. I am gonna go finish on my tax stuff today, so very excited.
Last
Good
day.
luck. Good luck, PreBallin. Shout out Composite. Appreciate you coming on, and as always, looking fantastic in that hat. Excited to hear what you cook up in the studio. KB, thanks for joining us as well. Any final message to the Monad community?
Yeah, shout out Crew Exchange. Also, shout out the Euro Nads meetup. We are trying to set that up in July. We're thinking the 4th through the 6th. So I think that everyone should go. Definitely going to make the trip to Greece. I want to see G-Van and Louis and the rest of the Euronads. So if you guys are interested, go hit them up, get in that Telegram chat, and yeah, let's all Nads touch Nads.
Euronads forever. Love it. Shout out Kuru. Spam, any final remarks for the Monad community?
Yeah, I mean, shout out Jusup. If you guys aren't following him, definitely go sauce him a follow on Twitter. The whole Monad games is just super professionally done, and I was very impressed.
My brother.
So thank you for that. And then shout out LFJ. I need to be able to mark this down as work, put it on my timesheet. So let's fucking Joe.
LFJ, and of course we have Sophie as well. Any final message for the Monad community from the other side of the world where many awesome Monad events are going down?
She is frozen.
Brutal. We will see if we get Sophie back.
Have hit.
But thank you to all the community members who have tuned in today on this live stream. Bonus content for Monad Games. Thank you to all the community members who tuned in on Monad in the Morning last week for the live premiere of Monad Games. Thanks to everyone that's throwing love on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, as well as keep throwing love to the full episode of Monad Games on Twitter. If it goes big enough, we get to do it again, and we have some serious ambitions to bring it up full scale, get more community members involved, get more ecosystem projects involved. Huge. What?
Before we go anywhere, we're gonna spin the wheel.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, it wouldn't be a pipeline stream without spin the wheel. It normally is reserved for Monad in the Morning, but if you have hung on for this entire stream, you most definitely deserve it. Let's spin the wheel for the Monad community. How are we going to select our victim?
Intern, you always have good ideas.
Okay. All right, everyone just send like a bunch of random stuff, and we're just gonna pick one of the random things on there. Like probably if it stands out a little bit, we kind of go on that. We'll see. People are just sending numbers now. I saw 32, 12, 4.
There's some good things on this wheel. Danny and I took some time, cleaned it up a bit.
This chat is going bonkers.
I know.
Bonkers.
All
right. Well, I kind of have one that I Like,
I see one too.
what
Okay, go
is
ahead.
so we a Bodhi?
You can click the message and actually show it on screen with our
he-
new handy dandy
He's
software.
got a. I don't know who it was.
Here. That one I just replied to and said GM. I said like send some random stuff. We a Bodhi, just all uppercase with spaces between, go bada gooba. What is that? That's pretty good.
All right, so we about it, Bodie.
Yeah, whatever. What is this thing? We need him to tell us what this is. I'm gonna ping it again.
I can't find this original message. I want to
Hang
pin
on.
it on the screen.
I know.
I'm gonna reply to it in 3, 2.
But there's
1.
no. I found your reply, but it doesn't allow me to go to it.
I mean, this. I'll just send the message with his
Okay.
username and what it was then.
Oh, there we go.
Real Chaos Walker, you are completely banned from Spin the Wheels after that comment.
So
What is-
Via Bodhi, what the heck does that mean?
No idea. But we love it. We said some random stuff, and I don't even know. That has a perfect amount of entropy and enthalpy in it. It is perfectly random, just
Hopefully
enough.
It's not a slur in some other language.
Even if it is, congratulations, you won. With the spaces between the letters, all caps, there we go. Spin the wheel.
Oh, good spin.
Oh, dun 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 dun.
60-second podcast with Jusup.
Oh,
Ooh.
Getting your own clip line here from the
yeah. So we
pipelines.
just did one with Jungi. Shoot me a DM on X proving that you are who you are. So does it say what he's watching this on?
I have no idea.
I believe that's
Twitch?
X.
X
Oh, no, he's on Twitch.
on Twitch. Okay, so screenshot that you own the Wabodi the Wabodi account, Weabodi account. Send me proof and we'll set it up. If you're anon, we can still manage to do it anonymous, like we did Jungies, and let's run it.
Let's run it. Absolutely love it. This was a special edition Pipeline live stream for Monad Games. Thank you all for joining. Huge, huge, huge thank you to our Monad Games contestants. KB from Kuru Exchange, PreBallin from Composite, possibly Spam from LFJ. Also, shout out Intern repping growth at the Monad Foundation. Shout out me for competing, obviously. Shout out Jusup for doing an incredible job with all the planning, prep, and execution for Monad Games. Massive undertaking. And of course, shout out Savant for doing all the editing and the Monad team members who put together the awesome Cypher Challenge and the app that goes with it. Super, super cool to be able to bring Monad Games on chain. Again, thank you very much for tuning in.
Okay. Good morning.